So, just for a change of scenery, we're back here at Dumbarton Rock. I've been really enjoying hard projecting recently, but today I'm going to try something new. Dumbarton's Black Circuit is a list of 11 boulder problems, ranging from the mid-6s to the mid-7s. None of them are easy for the grade, but I'm going to try and do them all in one session. The first problem of the day was gorilla hanging start. I can usually flash 7As without too much bother, but this one put up a fight. Whilst this can become frustrating, it's important to not take it too personally and focus on the challenges that are right in front of you. You never know quite what you're going to get, especially in Scotland. The second problem was another 7A called Bust My Chops. This wasn't too eventful, but the smaller holds made it a good warm-up for what was coming next.
Harder than the original 7A. Home roll low traverse. D.
Problem 3 was a climb that I think might be a contender for one of the most difficult 7As anywhere. It's a problem called Mugsy, and even though it's pretty much a one move wonder, that one move really packs a punch. It's funny because I'm fairly sure this would get a grade of 7B plus if it was in the Peak District. I actually made a mistake on problem 4. I was meant to climb a 7A plus called Mestizo sit start, but instead I did Mestizo traverse, a 7B. This involved a sustained section of moves into a high but easier top out upper groove. This was a great warm up for the longer problems coming up next, both for my forearms and head game. The next problem, Home Rule Low Traverse, a 7A plus, was a similar proposition with the same top out section. You really wouldn't want to make a mistake on the upper moves of these climbs, which is pretty manageable when the moves in question are easy. Unfortunately, the next climb on my list was a different story. Problem 6 was a climb I'd been psyched to try all day. It's a problem called physical graffiti, and was actually given a trad grade of E5 when it was first done, due to its height and seriousness. It's a little less dangerous now with modern bouldering pads, but falling off from the top still wouldn't be good as the crux is pretty high. With climbs like this, I found the best way to tackle them is to make sure you're focused and composed before you even leave the ground. Visualising the moves and making sure that you're fairly certain of your sequence helps too, as you want to try and make sure that you're not working everything out in the moment. This doesn't always go perfectly, of course, but doing your best to have a strong mind works wonders for your physical performance, and in this case I managed to reach the top on my very first go, something I was really happy about.
Oh. How was that?
That was bloody awesome. That was like actually one of the best climbs I've done here. That was great fun, but yeah, I think I would have felt a little bit more comfortable with a few more pads.
Problem 7 was Toto sit start.
Oh, you slippy foothold. Oh, these footholds are so slippy.
This gets 7A, but I won't lie, I kept falling off the moves on the 6A stand start as it's really polished, meaning the holds are worn and there's very little friction.
Are my feet wet or something?
Polished rock is a common theme at Dumbarton. I was pretty relieved to make it through and move on to the next problem.
Ooh. Okay, I think we're all good. Jeez. Alright, the shield. Yeah. Do you know what?
What?
This is one of the first boulder problems I did at Dumbarton. It took me like half a session to do. So to come back here and do it straight away is really nice actually.
After the shield, it was on to another desperate 7A called Slap Happy. This is as basic as it gets, and it includes what is potentially my favourite move at Dumbarton. Next up was Pongo, again 7A and again quite hard. By this point I was starting to feel quite fatigued after doing so many hard boulders, so I was making an effort to climb as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly could to make sure I still had enough energy for the final problem of the day. At this point I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to complete the challenge, but I knew that I was going to give it my best shot. I spend a lot of my climbing days focusing on big grades and things that are really hard for me. I love it, but it can get very tiring. A challenge like this is a nice opportunity for me to take a break from my projects, which can be really valuable. There's a saying that absence makes the heart grow fonder.
So we're at the last boulder problem of the day, Consolidated. I have actually tried this one a few times before, but I only ever try it right at the end of the session, so I've always got like no juice left in the tank. Hopefully I'll do it today, we'll see.
My final problem, Consolidated, is a long endurance traverse, given 7B+, but perhaps more similar in some ways to an 8A sport route. None of the moves themselves are super hard in isolation, but linking them all together at the end of a big day of climbing is a difficult prospect. To give myself the best chance of succeeding, I walked along the route multiple times and felt all of the holds, making sure that I knew exactly where to hold each one and trying to memorise the entire sequence. I took a few minutes to visualise these, and when I felt ready, I tried to empty my mind of any pressure and expectations and just find the flow as best as I could.
Thought I might do it first go.
After failing on my first go, I could tell that I didn't have much energy left, but I decided to give it one final shot. At this point, I was fairly sure that it was all or nothing. I wouldn't have enough energy for a third go, so I had to dig deep and enter the headspace that I'd normally reserve for bold trad climbs. The pressure was high, but instead of letting it take over, I tried to feed off it and assure myself that I was good enough to do this and I wasn't going to fail. Even with hard physical climbing, I found that mental attitude is probably still the biggest factor in success. A positive mindset can do pretty amazing things.
So I've just completed my Dumby Black Circuit Challenge. I'm really happy with it. There's a lot of classic boulders that I've never done before. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe, it helped me out a lot. And yeah, watch the other videos.